talk to you about the car buying process I went through just recently after hitting a deer. It can be overwhelming if you've never got a car before, or even when you're getting another car, it kind of feels new each time. Let's say I want a $15,000 car. I'm not just gonna go find a car and pay $15,000 for it and be done with it. I need to remember that there's gonna be tax on my car. Just like you buy a drink at a convenience store, there's gonna be tax added on. You're gonna have to pay the title, you're gonna have to pay the license, pay a doc fee. That just means documentation fee, the registration. You've gotta put it on your insurance. Whenever you get a car and you've got your budget set, you also have to account for all these other things. Some of the things that were like my hard rules, I knew exactly what I wanted to get. So I thought about, did I want a car? Did I want an SUV, or did I want a truck? And my mindset kind of shifted over a few days, just thinking out loud with my husband, what's to come in our future and all of that. I ended up deciding that I wanted a truck. So with that, it was like, well, do I want 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive? What kind of fuel efficiency do I want? What year model do I want? What is my price range? So these are all things to nail down before you start looking, otherwise you can get really overwhelmed. Another thing to think about is, do you want to buy used? Do you want to buy new, or do you want to buy pre-owned? I would suggest never ever buying a new vehicle, because as soon as you drive it away from the dealership, it loses its value. So you just paid a whole bunch of money for a vehicle that if you went to sell it in a week, you're not going to get back that same amount of money that you just spent on it, if that makes sense. So never buy a new car. Let somebody else buy it new, drive it for a little bit, knock off that original price, and then buy it used. It could be the same year model, but just don't buy it brand new. So I knew that I wanted to get a used vehicle. Color. Is color important to you? To me, it didn't matter. I wanted the features that I wanted, and the color was irrelevant. After I figured out what I wanted and all the features of it, then it was time to start searching for it. Some different websites that I used were Car Gurus a lot, Carfax, they have used vehicles, Auto Trader, I used that one, Edmunds, EDMUNDS, Cars.com. I considered Carvana, which is the one where they deliver a vehicle to you, but I didn't like the idea of getting a vehicle, having it delivered, and having never test driven it before. I think they have like a 7-day trial. Anyway, I decided not to use Carvana. So not only did I research the cars, I also did research on the car buying process, and like, what should I expect and what can I expect a dealership to do or try to throw my way and that kind of thing. A really great one for that is YouTube. So there's a guy called Chevy Dude. He's actually a car salesman, so he has a lot of behind the scenes knowledge, and he's very truthful and he's very upfront. So that was extremely helpful. Then there were a couple of guys that I watched on YouTube who had been car salesmen before, and they talked about the Foursquare process and kind of like how dealerships try to screw you financially. Realcartips.com. This guy has a whole bunch of information if you're just starting to buy a car and you need like the specifics and you don't want to get screwed in the process. It's a really good website to check out. So I felt more prepared during the car buying process. I felt like I knew what was going to be thrown my way, and that way I could combat it, or at least have some sort of response ready to go. Reached out to my brothers. I asked them a lot of questions. My husband, he's super knowledgeable. My dad, if you know anybody who has the car that you want, I would suggest like messaging them like, hey, what do you like about it? What do you not? Look at dealership reviews. Don't just look at the star rating, but actually read some of their great comments and then some of their negative comments. Another thing to consider is, where do you want to get it? Because if you're in a position where you only have like 1 day a week and someone's going to have to take you, you probably don't want to find a car that's out of state. With out of state, the taxes are different, fees are different. So I decided to keep mine in state. I put like a 250-mile radius around my search. But you may be near a big city or in a big city, and you just might want to find your vehicle in that city, and that's totally fine. So my research was people, my research was YouTube, and my research was different websites. On some of the websites, they'll have the free Carfax report. Always look at that. It's not 100% accurate because some things can be left off, which I learned during this whole process, but you can at least see if there were ever any recalls on it, the service reports. So when was it taken in for an oil change? When were the tires rotated? When were the tires changed? How many owners there were? You can see whether it was a rental vehicle, a fleet vehicle, or a personal vehicle. So if that matters to you, then keep an eye on that. One of the things that the dealership will offer you is an extended warranty. So I'm talking about a used car because that's what I got. And they have different companies that they will pitch to you. And that's all good and well, but I would suggest doing your research on it first. I decided that whenever I went in to get my vehicle, whatever they pitched to me, I didn't want it. I didn't want to be going through a dealership to get my extended warranty. I wanted to go from me to my extended warranty. I looked at Omega Auto Care, I looked at Ally Warranty, and then I looked at Ford Warranty. It's kind of hard to know what features you want in an extended warranty when you've never owned this vehicle before. So what you can do is go to Google and type in common problems with whatever it is you want, Dodge Durango. If you know you want a 2016 or you want a 2017, common problems with a 2017 Dodge Durango. And you'll see what comes up. Here's a list of 12 of the most common problems. Then you go look at your extended warranty company and see, okay, so they have different plans. Plan A covers this, this, that, and that. Plan B covers these, and Plan C covers these. See which plan covers most of these issues. That's kind of one way that you can decide what extended warranty plan you want to buy, because otherwise it's kind of like, I don't know, I'm just going to get one and then we'll see what falls apart on my car and then see if my warranty covers it. I'm going to kind of just briefly state that car insurance and an extended warranty on your car are very different. Car insurance is like getting in a wreck with someone, getting hit by a deer, somebody vandalizes your truck, something like that. An extended warranty covers the part. So if your vehicle breaks down, if something malfunctions within it, so that's where extended warranty happens. You don't have to have an extended warranty. You have the option to pay out of pocket. But if you have an extended warranty, then a lot of times you'll have a little deductible. A deductible is an amount that you pay before that company takes over the rest of the payment. So if you've got a $5,000 bill, your deductible is maybe $50, $100, $200. But anything over that is taken care of by that warranty company. That's the same for the car insurance. So if you get in a wreck, you've got a deductible that you have to pay. It could be a little bit, it could be $500 of a deductible, but anything over that $500 is taken care of by your car insurance company. Just wanted to clarify that right quick, that car insurance is different than extended warranty. Hope that makes sense. Once I kind of figured out like, hey, I think this might be a truck that I like, then I went to the dealership website. I tried to email because on the phone, there's nothing set in stone. There's nothing in writing. So if they say, hey, yeah, we'll knock off $4,000 on a phone call, but where is that documented? Who's going to prove that? So I did try to keep it through email. But then there was one truck I couldn't get a hold of. And so I ended up calling the dealership. And it turned out really well because what this young man did, I asked him if he would take a picture of the odometer. I wanted to know how many miles it had the day that I was talking to this kid. So he went out there, not only did he take a picture of the odometer, he actually took a couple of videos of inside the truck. And I was like, whoa, that really helped because that made me feel like I was actually in it. So I thought, okay, maybe calling isn't such a bad idea. So I found another truck that I was interested in at the Abilene dealership. And I asked the gentleman, I said, hey, I like this truck. Is there any way that you could text me a couple of short clips from inside the truck? This guy did a full YouTube video on it, a full interior and a full exterior shot of the truck. He uploaded it to YouTube and then he sent me the link. Video really made me feel like I was inside the truck. And that actually solidified my want to go test drive the second truck that I found. The gentleman said, once you get on the road, then I can hold the truck for you. My husband and I left the next morning. I called the man, I said, we're on our way. So he held the truck for me, didn't show it to anyone else. I did the test drive and then came time to actually purchase the truck. When you find a vehicle, try with all your might to not fall in love with it. They have more power when they know that you love this vehicle. Okay, $6,000 more, you got it. You want me to carry a horse for you halfway through town? Sure, I'll do it. So try to find one that you like, but be willing to walk away from it if it doesn't meet your criteria, and not just pricing, but all the features that you want too, because this is an investment. I made sure before we left, before we drove out of here, we had a number. We had an agreed upon number for how much my truck would be, and I was willing to go based on that number. And I knew also that that number was later going to include the tax, title, and license and all the extra fees. Make sure that you know exactly what your vehicle is going to cost before you go out. You do want to have that price set in stone. We sat down to do the paperwork. I was ready for all these fees that I had learned about. I was ready for some hidden fees. I knew what different terms meant. And you know what? I should have my paper with me, but when I got it, I think there were maybe 4 separate charges. It was very upfront and honest. He didn't try to play any games. He didn't try to pitch me. He didn't try to sell me on the truck. Nothing. He just was very friendly and did honest business with me, which I really appreciated. I talked to the dude in the back. We did all the paperwork. And then before I even left the lot that day, I jumped on my car insurance app. I got the VIN number from my truck. I inputted everything into the app, and I made sure that my truck was covered before I drove it off the dealership lot. If I had gotten a wreck or something, somebody hit me, I'm kind of screwed because the title is now in my name, it's my vehicle, and I don't have insurance on it. So be sure that you put insurance on your vehicle before you start driving it. Everybody has their own situation. There's a lot more that I could talk about, but I'm just gonna give you a little springboard so that you have an idea of what you need to research. Reach out to me with any questions, leave them in the comments. I may even do a video on your question. You can find Personal Powerhouse on Instagram and Facebook. And there's also the Personal Powerhouse Posse, which is a private group for questions of all kinds to come in. Don't feel embarrassed. Everybody's learning at the same rate. I think that's pretty much the gist of it. Thankfully, the dealership that I went to was amazing. It was in Abilene, Texas. It was a Volkswagen dealership. And they are just wonderful, wonderful people. Not salesy, very friendly, and I just love Texas.